One episode of Married with Children was so outrageous that it nearly destroyed the show. The Bundys thought they were having a private romantic evening. Instead, they became victims of a hidden camera scandal at a sleazy motel. When the case went to court, America witnessed the most explicit testimony ever aired on network television. The episode was fully shot and edited in 1989, but Fox locked it away for 13 years. Even today, people debate whether it went too far. What really happened in that courtroom that Fox desperately wanted to hide? When Ron Levitt and Michael Moy came up with the idea for Married with Children, they didn't want to create just another family sitcom. They wanted the opposite of The Cosby Show. They even considered naming it Not the Cosbys. That name made their message clear. They were done with sweet, perfect families on TV. Instead, they introduced the Bundys, a family that was messy, broke, and far from ideal. Al Bundy was stuck in a dead-end job. Peggy didn't lift a finger. At home, the kids were disasters in their own ways. Even Ed O'Neill, who played Al, later admitted the show was almost called We're Not the Cosbys. The goal was simple. No one would ever mistake their show for another happy, polished sitcom. In 1987, Fox was still new and struggling to stand out against ABC, CBS, and NBC. The Fox executives gave Levitt and Moy one big rule. There were no rules. They said, be as outrageous as you can be. This was their chance to air a show that other networks would never dare to broadcast. The result was shocking. The show made fun of marriage, mocked parenthood, and filled the screen with crude jokes about sex, money, and failure. People were furious. There were boycotts. Advertisers complained. But the show found a loyal audience that loved its honesty. That audience helped turn Fox into a real player in the TV world. Without this show, Fox might have disappeared. But not everyone at Fox believed in the idea at first. Barry Diller, the CEO at the time, doubted the show would work. He worried that people would hate a sitcom that made fun of everything families were supposed to stand for. He argued about the casting. He argued about the tone. He almost canceled the whole thing before it aired, but the creators refused to back down. And Dillard let it go forward, and the risk paid off. The show lasted 11 seasons and became one of TV's long-run sitcoms. The timing could not have been better. By the mid-1980s, people were tired of perfect TV families. The Cosby Show, Family Ties, and Growing Pains painted pictures of family life that didn't feel real anymore. Divorce rates were up. Money was tight. People felt frustrated, not inspired by these perfect TV families. Then came the Bundys. They were broke. They argued. They failed. And they made people laugh about it all. The show was like holding up a cracked mirror to American life. And people loved it. Embassy Communications, the company that produced the show, took a huge risk, too. Most sitcoms followed the same formula. Nice characters, a lesson at the end, and everyone happy by the credits. Married with Children didn't care about any of that. The Bundys didn't learn lessons. They didn't become better people. Embassy knew this could backfire, but they bet on it anyway. And that bet changed TV history. Ed O'Neill almost didn't get the part. He wasn't known for comedy. He had been a serious stage actor. After failing to make it as a football player in 1969, he turned to acting. He worked with one of the top theater groups in the country. His performance in Of Mice and Men impressed casting directors. When he auditioned for Married with Children, most actors went over the top. O'Neill did something different. He sighed, slumped his shoulders, and walked through the door like a man who had given up. That small choice won him the role. He played Al Bundy in 259 episodes. Michael Richards, who later became Kramer on Seinfeld, tried out for Al Bundy too. His audition was so Strange that no one knew what to make of it. It wasn't right for Al, but that weird energy stuck in people's minds. Years later, when Seinfeld was being cast, Richards's name came up again, and that failed Bundy audition helped him land the role that made him a star. First, the creators wanted Sam Kinison and Roseanne Barr to play Al and Peggy Bundy. That would have made the show even wilder. The idea was, what if Roseanne married Kinison and they had kids, but both turned it down? Barr wanted her own show. Kinison wanted to focus on movies. Looking back, the creators were glad. That pairing would have been a headache to manage. Instead, they found actors who fit the parts perfectly. Christina Applegate didn't play Kelly Bundy in the first pilot. The chemistry didn't work, so they kept looking. When Applegate, just 15 years old, read with Ed O'Neill, it clicked. She was Kelly. Their bond felt real on screen. Off-screen, O'Neill became a father figure to her. He supported her through tough times, and they stayed close even after the show ended. Katie Siegel brought something special to Peggy Bundy. She played the lazy, sarcastic wife with style. She made fun of the typical sitcom housewife and turned her into something new. Segal later spoke about how hard it was to play that role while knowing the show often treated women badly, but she gave it her all, and her work helped make the show what it was. It was April 5, 1987, and Fox took its biggest gamble. Aired a brand new show called Married with Children. The network had no choice. This was their shot at survival. The show was the opposite of the clean, happy families on other networks. The Bundys were loud, crude, and dysfunctional. But that's what made it different. And that difference saved Fox. Fox didn't play it safe. They chose the 8 p.m. Sunday night slot. That was prime time for family-friendly TV. CBS had Murder, She Wrote. Other networks offered sweet